Call Allah Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well over the flock. And shalom and salutation to you brothers out here pushing the words of truth and sincerity. Shalom to all the Akim and Akwaf listening. I'm Rapah Moth, and I'm going to today bringing out this great funeral that's about to take place in America involving you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This is a picture of every Jake probably in the neighborhood. All right, some celebrity must have died, and Israelites is flocking over the casket. Well, you have to imagine each of these people that's going to be their casket, and not just because we all going to die. Let's cut that out. Let's cut that understanding that everyone's going to die. First of all, it's also written that the Lord Himself said that some of you shall not perish. Standing here. All right, matter of fact, let me grab that real quick. This is Matthew 16 and 28. That's where you can find it. So this, we all gonna die eventually. That needs to stop. This is Matthew 16 and 28. Verily I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in His kingdom. Some is not going to taste of death. Remember, death, where's thou sting? Yahushua is coming back to defeat death, and some men are not going to. That's what salvation is for, right? That's what salvation is all about. But this great funeral, all right, along with this funeral music that's in the background, is going to take place. Why does it have to take place? It's very necessary, man. It's very necessary. But let's get into a reading of Ezekiel 2 so I can show why I'm preparing Jake for the mass funeral that's about to happen. This is Ezekiel 2, and notice the title says A Prophet's Call. Some other titles say The Filling with the Spirit. Ezekiel 2 and 1 reads some precepts. And he said unto me, Son of man, stand upon thy feet, and I will speak unto thee. So this theme that the Lord's speaking unto us through the Spirit, using His Spirit to speak unto us and call His prophets and His men to do a task. It's nothing new. In the book of Acts, the 9th chapter, in the 6th verse, I'm going to get it now. It says here, and he trembling and astonished said, Lord, what wilt thou have me to do? Said Paul, talking to Yahushua. And the Lord said unto him, arise and go into the city. So you see, this is the Spirit, Yahushua is commanding Paul here to go into the city. And Yahushua just appeared unto Paul early in the chapter. He was appeared unto Paul. Bright light shone from heaven. He came around the time when Paul was around Damascus. He asked Paul, why Saul, why persecutest thou me? This is the same account. All right. And he told him, arise and go into the city, and it shall be told thee what thou shalt do. So this links up with here in Ezekiel 2. And he said unto me, Son of man, stand upon thy feet, and I will speak unto thee. So the Lord speaks to His men to give them words to other men. This has been going on since the beginning of the time. It says, and the Spirit entered into me when He spake unto me, and set me upon my feet, that I heard Him that spake unto me. You go into the book of Daniel's 8. Let's get Daniel's, the 8th chapter, and we want the 18th verse. It says here, now as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground, but He touched me and set me upright. Okay? He touched me and set me upright. And He said it, behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of the indignation, for at that time appointed the end shall be. So this representing of the men having visions and men being explained in the visions what's to come of the future. This is what a prophet's lot is. This is what a prophet's call is, to give a message of the future happenings and wake up people who are ready to receive being woken up. There's a point to all of this. It says, and the Spirit entered into me when He spake unto me, and set me upon my feet, that I heard Him that spake unto me. Verse 3, And he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that hath rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this very day. When you go into the book of 1 Samuel's now, the 8th chapter, and let's start at 7. It says, And the Lord said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people in all that they say unto thee, for they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them, according to all the works which they had done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other gods, and so do they also unto thee. So the Lord is very familiar with the actions and the behaviors of his people that rebel against him and transgress against him, even to this very day. This is our people, the hard-headed ones that wanted their way and no other way. This is who the Lord is going to judge first in the times we coming in. Ezekiel 2 and 4. For they are impudent children. Gotta look it up. Gotta stay sharp with the words here. Let's get impudent. Impudent. Hard, cruel, severe, obstinate. All right. Stubborn, stiff-necked. Look at D. Stubborn, stiff of neck, stiff-necked. Okay. Obstinate, which means you don't want to hear. You're stiff-necked. You have your mind made up. You're hard. You're difficult. If you say a person is difficult, meaning they don't want to listen, that you can't get through to them. Well, that's our people here. That's the same. That's our people. None other than the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you so-called Negroes, Nates, and Lats. You go by so many different names now, Black and African American. Listen, you're the Israelites, but you're hard-headed. So let's get back into it. It says, for they are impudent or stiff-necked or hard-headed children and stiff-hearted. So he had to say it twice. I do send thee unto them. And it's kind of like, well, wait a minute, Lord, you sending me unto these people, the ones that don't hear? What about the ones that do? No, you're going to go to the ones that don't hear. So they can't have any cloak for their sins. It says, I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, thus saith the Lord power. Really quick, Psalms 95 and 8. Psalms 95 and 8. It says here, harden not your heart as in the provocation. All right. Meaning the root word provoke. All right. As in the provocation and as in the day of temptation in the wilderness. Okay. We tempted the Lord in the wilderness. And those are our ancestors coming out of Egypt and tempting the Lord and mocking him for bringing us out into the wilderness to be destroyed. Tempting the Lord. Verse 9, when your fathers tempted me, proved me, and saw my work. Okay, now let's continue. In Ezekiel, it says, verse 5, and they whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house. So that's stiff-necked, rebellious, difficult, hard. Rebellious means fight against. Somebody that fights against you, fight against what you're trying to tell them. It says, yet shall know that there hath been a prophet among them. So all of these people who have heard our word and heard the words of the Lord, that the Lord, once again, he put the Spirit on us to have these words, to tell them in these last days, to prepare them, to wake them up, to deliver them, hopefully, that they can be converted and be healed. They're stiff-necked towards us, but they will know that there was a prophet among them. They can't say, I ain't never heard the word, right? Precept here is Luke. Turn that down a little bit. Luke, we at 10, verse 10. It says in Luke 10 and 10, but into whatsoever city ye enter, and they receive you not, go your ways out into the streets of that same city, and say, even the very dust of your city which cleaveth on us, we do wipe off against you. Notwithstanding, be ye sure of this, that the kingdom of Yahweh is come nigh unto you. All right. So the Lord constantly telling people the kingdom of heaven is near. But if they don't want to hear it, if they don't receive it, we go out in the street where we at, right? That's where we crying. That's where we sighing and crying. And we wiping the dust off of our feet. Meaning we let alone that time. We're going to leave that time alone. Whatever is going to happen to them is going to happen to them. May their fate be sealed because they didn't want to hear that word. This is the logic. This is the only job of a prophet. It's not to beat it into your head senseless until you finally understand it and get it. Now, getting into verse 6. It says, "And thou, son of man, be not afraid of them, neither be afraid of their words. Though briars and thorns be with thee, and thou dost dwell among scorpions, be not afraid of their words, nor be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house." Got to let them know again, they rebellious house. Don't be worried about their looks. Don't be afraid of their looks. It says, verse 7, "And thou shalt speak my words unto them, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are most rebellious." The scriptures tell you again that the righteous are as bold as a lion. So we got a lion-like mentality to be able to go in here and trust that the Lord got our backs, man. In the face of all adversity, in the stiff-necked, impudent people that we have to teach this word to. 2 Samuel 23:6, the precept says, "But the sons of Belial shall be all of them as thorns thrust away, because they cannot be taken with hands. But the man that shall touch them must be fenced with iron." Let me make sure I got the right one. Yup, must be fenced with iron and the staff of a spear, and they shall be utterly burned with fire in the place. The sons of Belial, notice it says, shall be all of them as thorns thrust away. What does the scripture say here? In Ezekiel, it says, "Neither be afraid of their words, though thorns and briars be with thee. And though thou dwellest among scorpions, be not afraid of their words." The sons of Belial have much in common with our own people, our own people, because they turn into a way that's wicked. All right, they turn into an evil way. So there's sinners amongst our people, man. That's the bottom line. Now, Isaiah 51 and 12, it says, even I am he that comforteth you. Who art thou that shouldest be afraid of a man that shall die? Right? Biggie had a song like that. Picture me being shook of somebody that bleeds the same blood as me. People die every day or something along them lines, right? You can't be afraid. The logic is, why be afraid of other humans, right? You yourself being one, why are you afraid of other people who are just like you? It says here, "In the Son of Man, which shall be made as grass." Okay, so the fear of these people is supposed to be taken out of you to do this work. In order to perfect your job and your task, you can't be worried about them. How they look, whether they want to hear or not. They're going to be like the sons of Baal. They're going to be like pains and scorpions. Just be prepared, Verse 8. Verse 8, and I'll stop at 9. Right? Let me make sure I'm at the right place. Okay. Verse 8, and I'll stop at 10. It says, "But thou, son of man, hear what I say unto thee. Be not rebellious like that rebellious house. Open thy mouth and eat that I give thee." So he knew who to come to. He knew that our job, we would be men who aren't rebellious and who would do his work and his will. It says, and when I looked, behold, a hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. And so it's like a vision. He's seeing a hand, an actual hand, a vision of a hand coming down with a roll, right? An old script, an ancient scroll in his hand. And the scroll, right? The scroll of a book was therein, right? So he just opens it up. Really quickly, Revelation chapter 10. Revelation chapter 10 and 8. And the voice which I heard from heaven spake unto me again and said, go and take the little book, which is open in the hand of the angel which standeth upon the sea and upon the earth. So we can see now that this scroll, this book, this little book, it's the same book. The same scroll is the same book that a hand, which is open in the hand of an angel. It's the same book, right? In which was delivered to in the vision for Ezekiel to see, man. All right. It says, it says, verse 9, and when I looked, behold, a hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. This is the scriptures. Here's the point. Here's where all of the funeral vibes come from. Verse 10, and he spread it before me, and it was written therein and without, meaning it was written in around the entire book, right? And there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe. Now check this out. Go into the interlinear, find out what the word lamentation means. Right, so it was written where therein and thereout. That means the whole document, both sides, right? All around. It says there's written lamentations. When you look the word lamentations up, it says dirge, elegy. Real quick, let's get what a dirge is. Let's see what a dirge is. A lament for the dead, especially one forming part of a funeral rite. Okay, a mournful song, piece of music, a poem. You know what this is? And the other word, elegy, a poem of serious reflection, typically a lament for the dead. You see what it says here? It's blacking out a little bit. Funeral poem, song, a burial hymn. And that's why you got the funeral music in the background, because it's going to be a massive funeral that's to come. And this is the music that, is symbolized. I'm using it in my own little way to symbolize this great funeral about to happen. That's what lamentation is. It's funeral songs. It's funeral music. Once again, inside this scroll, inside this book, that the hand came down and showed Ezekiel, that was written all over. It was written, and it was written within and without. And there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe. So that means funeral songs about devastating deaths and mournings and woe. Why? Because the people who this book was written for, that don't turn back and listen to it, and the prophets that are being sent, they will be the next victims who the Lord is going to use. And the reason why there's so much mourning, woe, in mourning, woe, and lamentation, funeral songs in this book is for the preceding funerals and death and disasters and death and mass death that's going to overwhelm the people of this nation, the 12 tribes, overwhelmingly. Lord, when this video was edifying, until next time, shalom.